Hello again. This is Anthony with another one of these short videos which may help you if you're taking a basic stat course and you may find yourself having to deal with fractions, and it may have been a while before you since you've dealt with fractions and know how to add and subtract and multiply and divide them. So we're going to explain that here in this video. Also, I thought I'd bring in the mathematical function called Factorials. You may run into this in your basic stat study, or if you've never heard of it, just interesting to know what a factorial is. Maybe your math is a little rusty. It may have been a while since you dealt with fractions, and so that's why we're here tonight. We're going to learn how to add, subtract them. And the thing to remember, when you add and subtract fractions, you must have common denominators. If your denominators are different, then you have to make them the same. Now, when you multiply and divide fractions, multiplication is easy because you just multiply the tops and the bottom, multiply the numerators and the denominators, and you're in business. And when you divide fractions, you got to remember to flip and multiply. We're going to go over examples of each one of those cases here. So let's add, for example, let's add 3 over 7 plus 2 over 7. Now remember, I said in order to add or subtract fractions, you need the same denominator. And in this case, we do have the same denominator. The denominator here is 7. And so what we could just do is add the numerators, 3 plus 2, carry along the 7, so the answer is 5 over 7. Common denominator, same denominator, just add the tops, okay? Now, in this case, you notice that the denominators are different, 5 over 8 plus 1 over 6. We cannot add those in their present format. What we need to do is to come up with a common denominator. In other words, what number will 8 go into evenly and 6 go into evenly? Well, you could say, well, look, 8 times 2 is 16. Now that 3, 24. That'll work, 24. And so you convert 5 over 8 to something over 24. Well, how do you get from 8 to 24? You multiply 8 by 3. But remember, what you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So we multiply the top by 3 also, which gives us 15 over 24. In the same manner, 1 over 6, if we convert the bottom to 24, how do we go from 6 to 24? We multiply the 6 times 4, right? But again, what you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. And so 4 times 1 is 4. We have 4 over 24, which is the same as 1 over 6. Now we have the same denominator. And so we can now just add the numerators, and you get 19 over 24. Now, if you're in a situation where you don't know what the common denominator is, what you can do is just multiply the denominators. In this case, it would be 48, okay? And so we have to say, well, if we want 5 over 8 to become something over 48, how do we go from 8 to 48? Well, we multiply this by 6, right? Well, if you multiply the bottom by 6, you must also multiply the top by 6, so that gives us 30. Same thing here. If we're using a denominator of 48, we got a 6 in the bottom here, a 48 here. How did we get there? Multiplied the denominator by 8. We got to do the same thing to the top, so we have 8 over 48. So what that gives us now is 38 over 48. 38 over 48. If we reduce that fraction, divide it by 2, what do we get? We get 19 over 24, which we got here. By multiplying the denominator, you got the right answer. It just required one extra step. That's all it did. Now, to subtract denominators, 9 over 10 minus 3 over 10, we meet the criteria. The denominators are the same, so all we do is subtract the numerators. 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 over 10. Reduce it by dividing each by 2, you get 3 over 5. Easy. However, when you subtract fractions that have different denominators, 8 over 11 minus 2 over 3, once again, we have to come up with a common denominator. In this case, 3 times 11 will be 33. How do you go from 11 to 33? We multiply this bottom by 3. That means we have to multiply the top by 3 also. Gives us 24 over 33. We go from 3 to 33 by multiplying by 11, so we multiply the top by 11. Also, that gives us 22 over 33. Now we have the common denominators. We can just subtract the numerators. 24 over 33 minus 22 over 33 is 2 over 33. That's the answer. So just remember those rules and you'll be in good shape. Now, for multiplying, it's pretty easy. If you have 3 over 7 times 2 over 13, makes no difference whether the denominators are the same or not, because we're just multiplying the numerators, 3 times 2, which is 6, and we're multiplying the denominators, 7 times 13, which is 91, and that's your answer, 6 over 91. Multiplication is easy. Now, if we're going to divide fractions, and a lot of people have trouble with this, divide 2 over 5 by 4 over 9. I wrote a different way over here. 2 over 5 divided by 4 over 9. What I said is flip the denominator and multiply. So the numerator stays 2 over, the first fraction stays the same, 2 over 5. And then we're going to multiply that by the flipped denominator. So instead of 4 over 9, we're flipping it to 9 over 4, multiplying it by the numerator, okay? And 2 times 9 is 18, 5 times 4 is 20. We're just in the multiplication mode here. And that's 9 over 10. 9 over 10. Could have done the same thing by factoring out this 2 into 2 goes 1, 2 into 4 goes 2, then multiply 5, 2, 10, 1, 9, 9, 9 over 10. When you divide fractions, remember, you flip the denominator and then you multiply it by the numerator. May take a little practice, but it's hopefully going to help you. Now let's talk about a factorial. All a factorial is a mathematical function that multiplies a number by every number below it. And you'll notice right here, I say denoted by the exclamation point. So right here, 5 factorial. It multiplies a number by every number below it. So 5 factorial is 5 times every number below it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Multiply those together, 5 times 4 times 3 times 1, you get 120. 12 factorial, a little bigger, 12, 11 times 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you did that on a calculator, you get 479,1,600. Or some cases you can say, well, 12 factorial is 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 factorial, because isn't this right here 9 factorial? Sure, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's 9 factorial. So 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 factorial, not that much easier to do. You still get the same answer. Now, when you divide 12 factorial divided by 8 factorial, remember 12 factorial is 12 times 11 times 10 times 8 factorial, right? Here's 8 factorial right here. And you divide that by 8 factorial, they cancel out, and you just have 12 times 11 times 10, or 1320. Now, above, by all means, you have an online calculator, use it. You have a calculator on your computer. They all have symbols like this, n factorial. That exclamation point means factorial. One other thing to remember, you can use Excel too. By definition, 0 factorial equals 1. and factorials are only good for positive integers. N must be greater than or equal to 0. So I'm hoping this helped you a little bit. If you have any questions, there's my email. If you need any extra help, again, email me at mattstatguy@gmail.com.